going on with this camera. Looks like I'm going to have to get some dust on it. So let me wipe it off here. That's better. That's more better. Okay. I have well, it's like washed out. What the heck is with it? Oh, it's these glasses. Okay, I've explained this method at least a dozen times, but we'll go over it again. This looks like white paint or white dope. It's not. It's tinted clear dope. So this is all the dope that's going to go on this airplane for base. This yields a 6-ounce finish. Let me see here. Maybe I got to turn that down. That's what the problem is. Yeah, that's it. Got so much dust on this thing. Okay. I couldn't find my good brush. I don't know where the heck I put it. Got to be here somewhere. Let me look in this box real quick. Really would rather use the other brush. Can't see me putting it over here though. I don't know what I might have done with it. Yeah, nonetheless, we'll start doing this. I found another one. I want to break out a new brush. Anyway, so this gets filled halfway up. I didn't have quite half a quart for this, so I only filled it up to here, half of this, and then fill the rest up with thinner. So you put clear dope up to here and fill the rest with thinner. This is a little smaller airplane, so it won't take a full quart, so that should be plenty. To do this, we're gonna put 3 coats on the frame of this airplane. See, it looks, I just put clear dope on here and you can't see any white. But by the time we get ready to paint this thing, it'll be white. There's no doubt in my mind. Now I'm going to paint this airplane red. But red is one of those colors that if I put a base on it in red, it'll be red. It'll be dark, deep red. It's not what I want. I want a bright red. So there's a lot of sanding left to do. Do this here. So we're going to get, in this session, we'll run, tonight is Charles's night, so I've already put in quite a bit of time on the stream today. We'll go ahead and dope the entire airframe. 3 coats. Let's take this flap off. Get all this stuff off here so we don't lock anything up. And this brush is not as nice as my other one. It's a cheap brush. Don't forget the ribs. I love that smell. Wish it was Aerogloss. When I was a kid, I'd paint in the house. My mom would say, "You paint in there?" Yeah. Open the window. But Ma, it's cold out. So this series will be a complete series of from start to finish. I mean, but it's non-edited, so it's going to be several hours. You're going to have to sift through it. You might have to watch several videos to get the whole gist of how to do this. It'd probably be, I'd say, at least 10 hours in this series. I'm not sure there's a need to show you the sanding, but you know, so many guys like to watch me sand for some reason. I'm not sure they're wondering if I'm going to make a mistake or whatever, but you know, sanding is where it's at, and that's what makes an airplane. And hopefully I can get 3 coats. I need to get 6 coats out of this quart. We might have to add some more thinner, which is pretty thin now. Maybe I'll just add some more 100% in it. I had some extra I was going to use as a inner coat clear, so I just changed it from inner coat clear to base coat. Not wanting to waste any of this liquid gold. I mean, this stuff is just ridiculously expensive. $80 a gallon. Of course, really, if you think about it, that's $20 an airplane. That ain't bad. Hey, Tony. I'm not going to use monocoat. No, you don't need to dope the wing. I can't bring myself to do that monocoat crap. The airplane's too much like a toy with monocoat on it for me. And this really isn't that hard. I mean, it's just a lot of work, you know. Not hard, just a lot of sanding. I guess we need to take the engine out of this thing. You know, I roughed this in. It's going to take a whole lot more sanding. The wood was just so differently soft, from hard to soft. I need to harden it all up and get it sanded again. So that's why I chose to do it this way instead of going through another detail sand, because you're just spinning your wheels. So we'll get this on here. We'll get 2 coats on and then detail sand it. I'm not sure what Ronald's agreeing about. Yeah. Ronald, have you seen my other airplanes? Oh shoot, I gotta take this off. So let's take off that. Let's take this off. Okay, good. I didn't know whether you had just joined the channel or what here. Hard to keep track of everybody. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. You know, you might as well do it. If you're going to do it, do it. No, I come in and out and watch your progress. I do some painting myself for fun. I do some things now and then, come back and look and see how you're doing. Yeah, I sign paint, I pinstripe, I used to motorcycle paint, and of course I've airplane painted all my life. Let's get this motor off here. We don't need this thing on here. Need a couple coats on this thing too. And we got to take them covers off when we turn it over. Are you the one that's 40 score plus 3? You know, I got a picture of me and Billy. That's Bill Warwood right there. He's 81 or 2. That's Wesley Dick. He's 90. And then there's little old young me. Bunch of old farts sitting around talking about an airplane. '75, yeah. My good friend, who's 80, I think he's about 85, Ted. I can't get a hold of him. I'm hoping he didn't die. His phone, his phone's went from a landline to a wireless number, and you try to send him a text message, and it says the wireless customer is not a, it's not a wireless number, but it tells you that. I don't know. Stupid shit. Okay, we got. Oh, I need to tape up that push rod. That's what I need to do. Get that taped up. We still got a lot of super filling to do. This won't take long. I mean, I figure this airplane will finish in 2 weeks. No problem. Should be done about Christmas time. I got my bearings today after calling and complaining. They sent me a Christmas gift, which was postcards. For anybody doing Super Tigers, the 60 part number from Boca for the set that I use, I think it's $30 a set, is ENK 044HS. That's for the 60. And if you're going to do 46s, it's ENK 079HP. Now these are not the absolute top of the line high speed bearings, but they're not the crap bearings either. They're middle of the road. I don't, I don't see that I need ceramic bearings for Super Tigers. But I want a good quality bearing. Hopefully they're not made in China. Hopefully they're made in Japan. Because contrary to popular, see, they bombed Pearl Harbor. We blew up Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and they bombed us with radios. I remember as a kid we used to get these metal Japanese. Them toys are ridiculously expensive now. And this Jap crap. You know what? That I went to Henry's Tool. I'm a mechanic by trade. And Henry's Tool had a 24-inch crescent wrench made in Japan. It was about $3,000, I think, for this crescent. But he took it down off the wall, and it was behind the counter, and I looked at it, and I rolled the dial, and it was like rolling a caliper, like a Starrett vernier caliper. It was super precision. I don't think you need something that precision, but man, it was nice. It's better than my snap-on crescent wrenches. I got a couple snap-on crescent wrenches here. They're ridiculously expensive, but they're much better than Craftsman and the rest. And they're chrome. They don't rust, except I'm going to go out in the garage and shoot some WD-40 all over my wrenches and stuff, make sure that they don't rust up from being out there in the moisture. If you use them every day, they don't rust because they get the oil all over them. But sitting in the garage, I better do that here before winter comes. Okay, that's one coat on. Did I get any on here? Can't tell that I did or not. I think I did. I've been watching What's Next for Me for an Airplane. We're going to build some fuel tanks and spinners and mold some propellers and bell cranks and stuff. I got to get ready for the Worlds. I want to hit the Worlds with a stockpile of stuff that I can sell. Some control horns. I got to get with Send to make sure I can get them horn blanks cut. I got wire. I got silver solder and flux and all that crap. I got to wait till I can turn this over. So it'll be a minute. Make sure that when you dope, that you do equal coats, both top and bottom. Otherwise, things will warp. I got to do these flaps and stuff here too. think I did the coat on that one. Maybe. No, maybe not. So 3 coats, then the tissue. And we want to sand between these coats. Let me ask you, do you ever go to lose? I have been. I wasn't there last year, but I was there the year before. National Balsa was there. I said, hey, Eric, don't you ever have any balsa with it worth a shit? The dope got in that cut I cut this morning and I glued together. Wow, that burns. Yeah, it burns. Okay, that's that one. North there in Michigan. My dad is from Barron Springs. You know where that is? And my mom is from Rylander, Wisconsin, where it's beautiful. Of course, that's across the way in Minnesota. It's right across just above the Indiana border. So off of 69, I think. We went there 1 year after the Nats. He came when he was alive. He came to the Nats, and after the Nats, we spent a week up in Barron Springs. Like I say, just north of the Indiana border on 69. We have our own graveyard there. I have a plot of land there. Somewhere I got the deed. Well, let me tell you a story about Rylander. My dad built a house there in Rhinelander, and he wanted to go see it before he died. So I said, okay, great. He said, well, it should, we drove around, we spent the night, drove around, said it should be right here. It's right here. I know it's right here. I said, so what are you talking about? He said, it's right here. So got to looking, it was kind of way up on the hill. He said, well, that's unusual. That's it right there, but it's on the hill. So I said, okay, well, let's go. So we rolled up the driveway, got out of the car. He stayed in the car. There's an old guy in the house. I said, hey, would you mind if my dad, I explained to him he's from Nevada now, and my dad built this house. Would you mind if he comes in and take a look around? And I'm pretty rough looking. And I said, I can assure you, it's all above board. My dad got out of the car and introduced himself to the guy, and they talked a little bit. And he said, yeah, I built this house over here, there, and there. And he went down in the basement, and it was weird. It was a weird outing. But my dad got to see that house before he died, so that's all that counted. Let's see, we need to take this pushing rod off. It is in the top hole, unfortunately. My dad would be freaking out right now if he knew what was going on in this country. World War II vet. You can hear it. You can hear a story of him. Look for Telugu Lounge interview, and it's a 2-hour interview recollection. It's on the internet. Recollection of World War II, told by my dad. He was on AO-62 USS Teluga. I've been on that ship before. It's an oiler. Back World War II, everything ran on oil. He was in every battle in the South Pacific. Every battle, because he was an oiler. The only tanker to be hit by a kamikaze that didn't sink due to the action of smart fire control tech guy. Said, hey, that airplane's going to hit the stack. Let's turn on the extinguishers. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that guy. I got pictures of me when I was, oh shit, maybe 3 foot tall, holding his hand on the dock in front of AO-62 USS Teluga. I don't know where it's at. It's around here somewhere. I saw it a little while ago. He was a tall, lanky kid. I think he was probably 30 then. I don't know. I don't. Miss that guy. He was smart as a whip. Them guys had true grit. Now everybody's looking for their safe space. He'd be freaking out. Well, like, was he at Pearl Harbor or what? Merchant Marine. Okay, now we need to take the hatches and covers off. My dad died at 98 years old. Every time I call over there, where's he at? He's on the roof fixing the air conditioner. 90, 96. He was active till he died. He only spent like a week in the hospice. Okay, out. Didn't talk much. Learned all from my grandfather. Yeah. Well, my dad's later years, I spent as much time as I possibly could with him. Talked to him about every other day. Visited him. Okay, that part. Let's get this one off too. It's already getting lighter. B-17s, yeah. Their life expectancy was, I think it was 8 missions. They were retired after 25. There wasn't a whole lot of 25-year-long mission guys either. They didn't last long. It's a shame that we lost that generation. I mean, that's why these people waited until they were gone to start their shenanigans, because they would not have put up with it. So the plan for this airplane is, I never flew in one, but I've seen them. I mean, I've been inside one, but never flew in one. The plan for this drill is to cover these wings, put the fillets on, glue the cheek cowl on, put the cheek cowl on, then glue the fillets on. I mean, there's a lot of work left. A couple of weeks yet, anyway. That's 80 hours, so I would say there's 80 hours work left. And do I expect you guys to watch it all? No. You would if you want to learn how to do it right, though. I was taught how to do this by probably the best builder in the country. Tom Warden was a craftsman. Hell of a painter. Use too much paint, but I paid attention to the free flight guys too. When I came to St. Louis, I went to Schaefer's Hobby and I said, who is the best, the most outstanding control light pilot in the area? And Art's dead now too. Art said, Ron O'Toole. So I looked him up in the phone book, called him and introduced myself. He said, I haven't flown in so many years, blah, blah. I said, well, it don't matter. Come out to the field. We'll get you going. Got him started in it again. I wish he'd come back, because the guy's, has OCD, but he never gets anything done because it's got to be too perfect. But he's really knowledgeable about stuff. You know, he flew with Jimmy Varnholz and Billy and Steve Woolley. I think he's 80. He's probably 82 or so. I don't know exactly. I know he's over 80 because he's older than Billy, and Billy's 81 or 2. And we used to go to SIG. I used to sit and talk to Roland McDonald. Now, these guys that I'm mentioning are all big. Look back in the books, man. Them guys, Them guys knew their shit. Jack Sheets and I were friends. He was my hero when I was a kid. Man, that guy built more airplanes than anybody. This has Jack Sheets lead outs in it. He sold me 300 foot of lead out I'll probably never use in my lifetime. Somewhere around here, I got a picture of him holding his World Championship twin, whatever that thing is. He autographed it for me. That was my prized possession, and I don't know where it is. I think it's in the closet in there somewhere. When I redid this tip this morning, that was well worth doing because the covering is going to lay down better on the tip. Remember, these ribs need to have about 12 coats of clear before you start buffing. So you get 3 on this, then just the ribs. 3 on this, then 3 on over the top of the covering. Then you put on the clear, or put on the color. Then you put 3 more coats on it. Then you put on the clear, and you put on 3 more coats. So that's 12 coats of clear just on the ribs. I use a pinstriping brush to do it. If you don't, you'll sand through them. If you're going to sand, I mean, a lot of guys only half-ass it and don't worry about sanding. Just put it on there and you're done. You know, if that's your kind of game, that's fine. But if you want a super nice finish, you're going to have to sand, and it takes just an ungodly amount of sanding. But what else you got to do? Don't go to sleep. You'll have plenty of time to do that when you're dead. And that ain't far away, so might as well sit here and sand or do something productive. You think you're gonna get something to eat? Yeah, I hope I get something to eat. I'm gonna get a smaller brush for these ribs. You lived in a sea vixen. Well, I got to be honest with you, I don't know what that is. Yankee Air Force for a short while. Yankee Air Force. You mean the Confederate Air Force? We're not politically correct on this channel. There are no safe spaces. At least I'm not. You got time for that shit. Stupid. Okay, broke off there. We need to. That should be all right. Just dope. Should be okay with just dope. Dope is glue. And that lump there, it'll be fine. We got 13 hole watchers. We've been on 41 minutes, so it's gonna take an hour per coat. Of course, unless you're not talking and you're fast. I got one coat on in 45 minutes, and I need to let this set up. And before I go to bed, I'll put another coat on, and then when I get up in the morning, we'll sand it, and I'll probably try to straighten out some of the bugaboos. And then after that's straight, we'll get another coat on it. And by tomorrow evening, we'll be putting the covering on. Now, I have some medium tissue, K&S tissue. I'm a little spooked of it because it's 50 years old or better. I'm not sure if it's stable. So I'm probably going to go ahead and just use a couple of sheets of Brodak tissue on the wings and use that K&S silk spin I got on the hardwood, on the wood surfaces. I got Dr. paper. I guess I could. I also have polyspan. But polyspan is going to be too heavy. I got Jap tissue. I also have the glue stick to get it on, but I don't know. I don't think I'm good enough to get it on. And it's $15 a sheet. That's the. I guess I could try to get it on. I've watched the Bob Hunt how to Jap tissue video now like 10 times. Jerry Phelps was supposed to teach me how to do it before he died, but he ended up dying. Can't hold that against him. But from what I understand, as you dope all this shit down 3 coats, then you put around glue stick around the perimeter. How did that work? I'm gonna have to watch that again. Then you put the tissue on and stick it down to the glue stick with acetone. And then you spritz it, so you're putting it on dry. And if you need to move it, you use rubbing alcohol to let it loose from the glue stick. I don't know. This is a profile. It'll mostly be flown in the grass. It's probably not a good idea to use Jap tissue on it. Got to have 3 coats of clear on the airframe. So that was the first coat. And it's really crude, rudimentary. You can't screw it up. Just slop it on. We're going to be Z-epoxying this nose cowl. I'm thinking about hollowing it out because I really don't need all this solid wood. However, it's really light. It's like a quarter, not even a quarter ounce. I found some good 3-pound, 1/2-inch wood. So I don't think I'll hollow it. I'll just leave it solid and give it a little more. Well, them flaps are dead nut straight. That's a good deal. So for the first coat, this really feels nice. I think it's going to be red and white. I should paint it that that Bob Brookins green, but then I won't have any canopy green left. I only have a quart of that stuff. Everyone who loves warbirds felt a loss. I don't know what for. Oh, Kermit Weeks, yeah. Kermit Weeks. Yeah, he's a character, that guy. Long-haired hippie type dude. So what'll happen here, I'll be on the hangout with Charles tonight because see it's different for me to be on the hangout from here because I'm not working first off. If I was working I'd probably be sleeping, but Charles comes on at 7, which is 8:30, which is my time, which is not too bad. When I was in Dayton, it was 9:30, and I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5:30. I ain't up. I ain't paying attention to what Charles is doing. I could care less. OB. But this method of finishing is probably 100 years old. I think Wilbur and Orville used it on their airplanes, on their. Except I don't know what nitrocellulose dope was used for back then, besides canvas airplanes. It wasn't really canvas. The hippy dippy weatherman. Get another coat on this. Either Mike Patey has to be a zillionaire or he's making big money on his YouTube channel to build that house he's building. With a 24-foot deep pool, just kind of rubbing it in our face. Got all kind of airplanes and hangars. And where do these guys get all their money? I'm lucky enough to pay attention. Okay. Let's get another coat on this. But you kind of got to have money to have an airplane. You know, I went and visited Joe Gilbert and shit. He got over $1 million worth of airplanes in his hangar. He's been around the airport all his life. He owns a pharma company. Well, that'll do it. Everybody got to have drugs. That'll do it. I should have paid attention to my dad. You can't make money with your hands. You have to make it with your brain. And I guess my brain didn't work because I got no money. This feels good. Now this is at this leading edge and the trailing edge on this airplane. I bought at Dayton Model Rama. I bought a box of wood that was like baseball bats. And I milled all this out on my table saw in the garage. I wish I had more of it. I gave John half of it for jigs and stuff. It worked real good. Worked real good for this application. It's a little heavy, but 7-pound wood. But it's stout. This wing for a beam wing, this you can feel it. It's stout. When I get the covering on this thing, it's gonna be locked up. Yeah, scrappy. Yeah. Not supposed to crash them though. I don't know how you ground loop it, but whatever. Just like, guys, how do you spin out going straight? We can see it all the time on the freeway. We'll start to see that come up here shortly. Spin out going straight. Okay. All right, we're done with our set. I'll let this dry a couple hours. I'll lightly sand it with 320. Come the stream time for Charles, I'll go out the stream. I'm not going to narrate doping, but I'm going to dope this out on his stream. Them flaps are up. I got to cut them flaps off and put them down. Shit. Inch and a half. Let me get a ruler here, see where I'm at. I might have to redo these flap fillets now that I got them off. I don't know. I have to look. Where's my ruler? There it is. I got to get these flaps right, or this stupid thing won't fly worth a damn. Yeah, it's wrong. It's wrong. I mean, it's way wrong. I'm a 1/4 inch off. Let's check it. Maybe I'm not. Yep, I am 1/4 off. Holy crap. What the hell did I do? We might have to redo them. Oh, we're going to redo them. Oh, right there. It's more than a 1/4. Let's see. That's the line right there. No, it's 1/4 off. That's the line right there. Better fix them now. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Okay, what I did is once again I eyeballed these things and not measure them from the datum line, the datum, and it's a quarter off. It goes right there. God, I hope I can get I've made the push rod. I might have to cut that push rod up and remake it. I thought there was something funny going on there. So that goes right there. Yep, it's right there. That's the long one here. Hopefully I did the tail right. I think I did because I put the sticks on it. Better to find out now than find out at the field and I can't trim the damn thing out because it won't quit hunting. They go right there like so. That's a quarter off. Yep. What? Well, ain't nothing but to do but to cut it off. Don't be an idiot like I was. Check and recheck. I should have checked it again. You know what? I might just sand that off. Make new ones. That one broke off. That's good. Yay! Let's try to break the other one off. Move this back together. It goes here like so. I bet that one other side won't be easy. I bet it won't be easy. Where's the glue? It's right here. No, that ain't it. Where is the glue? What I'm worried about is the push rod. I'm going to have to redo the push rod. So if that goes down, it's going to have to be shorter. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Might have to cut it and JB weld it. Remake it. Not that big a deal, but I just know that I needed it fixed right now. So we got that one. I got that one fixed. Please break off there. We'll try to get it off. If it's hot. The hell was I thinking? Okay, break off. Come on. I'll just make a new one. Break off. There we go. Big old hole there. Okay. It's okay. That's bad. Quarter inch. Quarter inch. So I better measure and measure again. Yeah, well, I mean, everybody makes them, and you better know how to get out of them. Yep, inch and a half right there. Inch and a half. This is the datum line right there. Yep, I was a quarter inch off. If I'd have left it like that, flaps down, it would have hunted like crazy, and I would have drove myself nuts until I could find it. I just happened to be standing back, I got the flap off of it and looked and go, shit, that's way up. That's way up. There ain't no way. The fillet was up, but the flaps were down. So we'll put the fillet where it belongs and see what it looks like. We got an hour in. We'll just leave it like that, and that'll be fine. It'll be fine. If you see a mistake, you best get after it. Best fix it. No matter who's watching. See, everybody else's videos on YouTube are edited. So all the mistakes are out. So we want it right there. It wasn't that big a deal. The big deal is going to be the push rod, which I'll just remake if necessary. That's it. That mark is 1.5 inches. So now that looks a lot better. What the hell was I thinking? Okay. You can't believe how much you can't believe how much a quarter inch is. I mean, so now to get the other one on there, we're going to put this flap on here. I know the rear ones are right because I used the 2-stick method to make sure they were neutral. I bet I'm going to have to make a new push rod. That's the only thing. It's not really not that big a deal. Okay, the new one goes, or the new location of this goes, except it's not quite in far enough. Why? What's holding it up? I don't know what the holdup is. I'm gonna have to grind some up now, I think. Shouldn't have to though. But I got a Dremel. We'll grind it out. I know that's deep enough. Ah, bitch. I guess we're gonna run until I get this fixed. Ain't no sense in showing you guys I had a bugger and not showing you get it fixed. So I don't know how deep that hole goes. It goes that deep. Right at the end. So we need to drill it just a little deeper. Move that, and it doesn't want to play nice, so well, might as well give up because you ain't gonna win. Let's see, we got 8th right here. I'm not gonna make a new push rod on camera. I mean, I'll get this fixed, but I'm not gonna make a new push rod on camera. I'll just make it up. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I gotta look for the parts and do a little cussing. Now, why don't you want to get on it? What is the holdup? I think I gotta see what's wrong. Not wide enough. Too narrow. So, sure looks wide enough. Well, it's down to feel like it's going to come flying out of there. Let's see how it works. Now, I just don't get it. What's the holdup? There it is. There it is. So what the holdup is, it's splayed out that way. So we need to ogle it back and forth. Yeah. This all gets glued on anyway, so if it's a loose fit, don't matter. Because I'm not going to be able to bend that music wire 1/8 inch with pliers while it's put together here. So I got to make it fit. I mean, I'm strong. I can do 3/32, no problem. But 1/8 inch wire on that 1/2 inch balsa would probably bust it. There it went. Okay. Just had to massage it to make it work. Hey, Marcel. Okay, so now that's where the flap goes. Right there like that. Now, look, let me zoom in here. I'll show you the difference. I mean, it would have been a disaster out at the field. Oh, wait a minute. On here, I'm going to zoom in. Okay. This is where the flap is supposed to go, right here. Just like this. I had it up here like this. It was that far off. That's a 1/4 inch. Big gap. Just huge. Would have not been good. Let's get a pen and pin it, and then I can glue it. What do I do with the pins? There they are. I'm glad I caught it now instead of having the fuselage all tissued up and the Z-epoxy and the micro superfill in there. I'd have been hot. Boy, I'd have been pissed. Right here like that. Yeah, go down a little bit. Looks like smells like we're getting something good for dinner. Gonna have to cut away some more of that. We don't have much flap movement though, do we? I might have to redo this one, rechange that push rod. Damn. That's all the flap I got. That's enough. That's enough. need my angle finder from the garage, but I don't want to go out there. Okay, let's check it out here. This is pretty crude, but it'll give me an idea. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You got 30 degrees of flap. That should be plenty. 30 degrees down. That's about an inch that way. A little bit more that way. I'm not sure. I might be taking this rib off, opening this up, putting a new push rod in there. Because the bell crank's not quite centered square now. If I do that, I'm going to have to... Oh, crap. Okay. And we're going to have to. Here's the fix. Even if I take this off and try to repair that bell crank is neutral right there with the flaps up because I just put it together wrong. That's neutral right there. Right there. So we can get equal throws both ways. So the fix is I'm going to cut this rib off, remake this rib. I'm going to cut this push rod and we're going to make it 2 pieces. And that's the same what's going to happen with the back. That's just the only way it's going to do it. I'll cut that push rod, put a new piece of carbon fiber tube on it, JB weld it together. Because I'm not taking that other rib off the bottom to solder it. No way. So that'll be my project for after dinner tonight. Fixing a screw up. I don't know if I can get in there with any kind of saw. I guess if I go down this way and saw it right here, but I still got to get that carbon off of there. Or I could cut the end off here and put the bonder in there. That's CA is all that's holding that push rod on. So many things to think about. Well, whatever the outcome is, you guys will know the solution I come up with. Come on now, glue. Even though it's a pain with what I got going on here, I'm glad I found it, because it would have showed its ugly head in the trim. So yeah, I think we're going to take this off and remake the push rod. You know, to remake the back one too, because this one is going to be way too short. Let me pin this here. This is 0. Yep. Come on now. That's 0 flap. Let me look at the end of the wing here. Yeah, that's shit. I can't believe that slipped by me. Okay, let me zoom out here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, looking at it from the side here, looking at the plane, it goes right. That's correct there. So this is where this goes. Let's see how close we are on the push rod. I know better, but it would be nice. But I know better. I don't think I can take it up in the turns. It's an adjustable push rod, but I moved it a quarter inch. A quarter of an inch. That's ridiculous. I don't know what that works out in flap degrees, but we'll figure it out here in a second. What do I do with the push rod? Right here. I put this in here. No, I guess this will be okay. I can screw that in enough. Okay, this one's okay. This one is not. Shit. Would have been better the other way around. Okay. I've got to think about this. All right, after that screw up, I'm going to sign off and I'll be on Charles's program. I will have it figured out by then. I'll just sit here and think about it for a minute. How I want to address it. That push rod is soldered on. So if I want to make a new push rod, I got to unsolder it from the bottom. Means I'd take 2 ribs out. I don't want to do that. So what I think I'm going to do is take the top rib out, cut the push rod, somehow slide that carbon tube off of that, but it's filled with CA. I mean, I might have to grind the side of that off to get it off of there. Cut the end off. That's what I'll do. That's how I'm going to fix it. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to take this. I'm going to cut it off short, right next to the horn here. I'm going to take that rib off. I'm going to take a Dremel tool and grind one side of that carbon tube flat. Pop it off of there. Slide that out. Cut the tube halfway. Make a new end for this side. Make a new rib. Slide it all back together and JB weld it. What a pain in the ass. That's all I can do. It has to be. Because I have to have that bell crank centered. Otherwise, the feeling of the airplane, when you put a bell crank in crooked, where you have the arm one throw one way and more the other way, when you give it down, the airplane will kind of hook around the corner. It kind of, depending on how it, but it kind of dives under. It's no good because it exponentially pulls on the arm and it'll just dive under. Crap, I set that up wrong from the beginning. What was I thinking? So we're going to go an extra 2 days on this project, I bet. Unless I can get that rib out of there. I doubt it because it's epoxied onto the spar. Unless I can cut that rib out of there real nice. I'm going to try it. I'll try to cut that rib out of there real nice so I don't have to make another one. You know, I only have to cut the back half. I only have to cut it from here to here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it across this way. Take my mother's saw, cut it across this way. Undo it there. It's white glued onto here. I'll slice it down the side. Make a new push rod. Put that piece back in it. Yep, that's it. Now I got to make sure that this push rod is going to work back here on this one. We know that's level. And need to shorten that up. Yep, this will work. Thank God for adjustments. I put it right in the middle, so that was good. I can move it up a quarter, so that's good. Not going to be that big a deal. Yeah, that all sounds good, but you got to be here to see what I'm going to deal with. I can't just cut the end off of it and glue it. This carbon tube is glued onto that wire. That's why I consider corrugated fuselage is easier. Yeah, I don't fly that stuff. I fly a different class. I just consider this. These are just some of the things that you got to overcome. You know, when I'm moving as fast as I do and making these videos, I'm going to make mistakes. I can't blame it on anybody but myself for not paying attention. I should have looked at that and measured, and I didn't. Because the center line of the motor and the center line of the wing is 1.5 inches down from the datum. That's the datum I used, or the glass. That's 1.5 inches. That's 1.5 inches, and this tail right here should be 1.5 inches off the datum, and that's where it is now. Before it was 1.25 inches, or maybe I just thought I had it at 1.25 inches. I don't know, but I caught it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's one of them deals. I might as well see if I can get that. That's where that goes. Put this cap on it. Make sure that it's going to work. I mean, if that push rod, if that bell crank wasn't turned over so far, I wouldn't even worry about it. But it's cocked in there like that. And I know what'll happen if I don't fix it. Well, the flap bind, the push rod went down. It doesn't matter. If the bell crank is not square and turn equal amounts both directions, the airplane will not handle correctly. It's just how the geometry of the thing works. That bell crank has to be, see, this bell crank is now sitting in here like this at an angle this way. This is exaggerated, but it's at an angle like this. It's got to be like that. Otherwise, you won't gain full control in both directions equally, and you'll be chasing your tail with the handle going, I can't figure out what the hell's wrong with this thing. So that was a lesson taught by accident. So we will fix it. I mean, that's all you can do is fix it. Let's push this out. have to cut that some. Oh, I see what it is. I got to get the rib off. So let's just cut. Let me cut that rib. She hadn't called for me yet for dinner. Okay, where's my saw? I know it's here somewhere. It's got a grin and bear it. Fix it. I got this saw, but then the saw that I want. I want this saw right here. We're gonna cut it right here. No, right here. Yeah, I didn't want to monkey with that rib. Hopefully I can reuse this, no problem. Should be able to. Okay, that's that. Now, we need the knife. All right, here we go. Here we go. Too bad this is hard, that hard ass damn wood. This wood is hard. And this is the line here. I'll be underneath the super fill. There we go. You just gotta fix it. That's all there is to it. Go. Come on. Out of there. Let's go out. Need to take a little bit of length off of that, looks like. Come on. Have to remake that. That's okay. This will glue back in. You'll never even know that I had to do this. Okay, so let me get the camera in hand and I'll show you where we are. Why I had to do this. This is where the flap goes. I get my camera in my hand. It stinks, I just. Okay. This is the correct flat position where this is right straight over the top of the wire, so you get equal throw on equal sides. Having the bell crank where it was, see how the bell crank's cocked in there? It needs to be here. It's a 1/4 inch too short. That's how far it's off right there, a 1/4 inch. And if that thing is not straight in there, that you get equal pull on both sides, the airplane will fly like crap. So my fix for this, because this is glued to that wire, is I'm going to cut this off right here. I'm going to grind the half of this off down to the wire and peel that off, put a new piece of tubing in there, and JB weld the wire, the end on it over here. It'll have the JB weld in the center here. It's not a big deal, but it was off quite a bit, and I cannot live with it. My mistake, just the way it is. So we'll be thinking about that at dinner. Because you never know, I might be giving it to somebody. Yeah, it's soldered on there. Why do I not pull it from the bell crank? Because then I got to cut the bottom rib off. That's 2 ribs off. Because the washer's on the bottom. Maybe. That sure be a whole lot easier to do it that way. Well, maybe I can get in there with a soldering gun. Let me make it dry around here and see if I can get in there with a soldering gun. Probably not. Probably not. Probably couldn't get a good joint on it. Yeah, I know it's only wood. It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I think I might go ahead and saw that rib out and unsolder it from there and make a whole new push rod as is. We'll do it right. I'll saw it here and cut it off and glue it back on. It'll be fine. It's a bummer. It's one of them deals. It's one of them deals I gotta think about. Easiest way to do this. I need to get a jar of thinner though and get that brush clean. Okay, where are you? It'll be fine. By the time I'm done, you'll never know that happened. Oh, wrong one. You'll never know that happened. And the only way you know is because I showed you. Yeah, that's all good. You guys don't get it. I've explained it 5 times now. This rod right here is glued to this. If I cut this off, you still can't get a rod inside. I got to get that off. That's the 5th time I've explained it now. I got to get this carbon rod off. So I have to either take a Dremel tool to the side of it and a pair of pliers and twist it off, or unsolder it from there and make a new one. I just don't know what's the easiest way, and that's what I got to think about. Even if I have another piece of carbon that size, which really doesn't matter. I can use aluminum. Oh well, par for the course. But the way this is going, this will go back in no problem. You'll never see the cut because it's underneath the superfill. That's not an issue. And this right here, we'll just put a piece of carbon over the top of it. And I'm not sure what I want to do. The absolute correct way to do it would be to cut that rib off and solder a new one on. That would be the absolute correct way to do it. And it's just a 1/4 inch. Isn't that a bear? Shit. Yeah, lots of it. You see, when you get a set of plans, all these screw ups are already figured out for you. I've made them already. I think we're going to make a new one of these too to go over to the fuselage. It'll be like that. Yeah, we'll do that. That way I can work on the fillets better. Okay. What the fuck do I want to do here? Like to find my good paintbrush. I know that for sure. The $25 paintbrush. I don't know what happened to it. I probably put it away safely somewhere, but safely somewhere is long gone. It's somewhere, all right. Yeah, I know what to do. I think the correct way is to go ahead and cut that rib off, cut it out, and make a whole new push rod. The only way I can get in there to solder it is have this rib out of the way. So yep. I'm just not used to building profiles. That's the deal. Of course, I'm into that. There it is. Okay, we can make it right now. Isn't that a bitch? Okay. It's hot. We'll get it hot. Get some needle nose. Delron. Okay. Whew. Smoke. I remember that smell when I was a kid. It smelled like burning hair. I didn't get all the solder off of it. There it is. Smell like burning hair. And the more I sit and think about it, the more I would procrastinate. Might as well just do it and get it over with. I want to take some of this out anyway. Take 50% of this out. And this is pretty stout. That goes right there like so. I need a push rod. I don't want to make it out of that good wire. I want to make it out of this shit. We'll make it out of this stuff right here. I hope this stuff's soldered good. So we got what here? Yeah, there is no way I could have got that carbon rod off there because I dribbled CA down in there and then kicked it off. That thing is solid, boy. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do for rod because I know I don't have any more of that small shit. Oh crap! Always something. Look at this. Look at this box here. Oh, I do have a piece of that small stuff. It's in this tube. We're in there. We got it now. All right. Not so bad. This won't be so bad. cut off this end. Yep, fits in there fine. Take this. Cut right there. Okay, this can go back in here. The soldered end is how long? 1/4, 3/8. Yeah, it's not too difficult once I make my mind up. Once again, I've said you can't epoxy it unless you get that sleeve off of there. So give it up. It ain't gonna work. You can't change the ends without taking this tube off. You can't get the tube off because it's epoxy or it's C8 on there. That's too long. But that's okay. We'll need to solder a washer on there anyway. So we don't have any room there, so it's very tight. We need to cut that 1/8 of an inch off. 1/8 of an inch. What now? Yeah, we could just check it. Let's just check it. It's already done. It's already figured out. The glue solder a washer on that. Cut a little bit more off there. It's hitting the, I mean, the tolerances in this thing are super tight. That's right. I've made many adjustable push rods, just like you're talking about. But you got to start out with something you can slip in and out. So that's where the neutral is. We need a, here we go. Here's a marker. That's where neutral is, right there. This is where the bend has to be, right there. So we need to bend this exactly right there. Needs to be straight. And this needs to go like that. And this rod here is 1/4 inch longer. Okay, so that's good. So now, let's see. This end here is going to have to be cut right there. Now solder the washers on it. Should be good to go. Oh, I got to wick some CA down here. kick it off, but let's see if it fits. Ain't gonna go with it sliding back and forth like that. Got a burr on it. Yep, got a burr on it. I have to deburr it. What the hell? There it is. Had a piece of pushrod in there. There it is. There it is. Before I solder anything together, I want to make sure I got them right. There it is. Nope, I don't. It's too long now. Isn't that a bitch? Isn't that a bitch? Why is that too long? Because that's got to go right there like that. It's an 1/8 inch too long. Shit. Okay, let's try again. Eighth inch too long. Yeah. Having a heck of a time tonight. That's an 1/8 of an inch. Need to cut out of that. Got to go right there like that. Well, whatever we're having smells good, so. My lady's a good cook. Okay. Why was that a 1/4 inch longer? I bent it right where I made the mark. I'm not doing a Z-bend. I'm not doing any funny stuff. Thanks for the suggestion. These airplanes are under extreme strain, and Mickey Mouse Z-bends and goofball stuff like that just is not safe. Just like them goofy line clips and how to wrap lines and all that is not safe. So I'll do it the way that I've been doing it for 60 years, and that's it. My airplanes will withstand any pull test or any adverse, never had a wing fold or any stupid stuff like that. So that needs to be right there. Right there. Please be right. Maybe I need to bend this in the bender. Only got one more chance. Okay, it goes right on there like so. That goes down. This goes this way. It might be a little long. No, it's twisted. It's got to get twisted back. Hopefully we got it. This needs to be this long. Please be there. Let me work some CA down this. Well, yeah, well, I got enough to make another one in case I screw it up. This is why you can't move that rod. I fill that up with CA and kick it off so that it can't slide. Now this is stiff as hell. There we go. We got it now. If I can get it in there, I might have to take the burr off it. So I'm going to need to solder 2 washers on it. Put it in there and solder it on the bottom. Let's see if that works now. That is it, or pretty close. A lot closer than it was. So if I give it up, give it down. Sure that's in there pretty straight. Nope. Damn. Nope. I'm getting frustrated now. Getting really aggravated. So don't offer any suggestions. I'll figure it out. I've been here before. This thing is unbelievable. What the hell is the problem? Got to be right there like that. Why can't I get this right? You know what the nice thing about this is? I can straighten that out and rebend it. I think 8's too long this time. Let's try it. Yeah. What did happen to the hat? There. We're gonna have to make a new one of these anyway, but we might as well see what happens when I take it down an eighth. See, there's the mark. We want to go ahead of that an eighth of an inch. Down and turn. Turn. This bender is like shit. Nope. Still didn't get it right. I'm getting really aggravated. Got to be bent right there. That's down. That's down. That's down. It gets bent this way. There we go. Now I need to cut some off of it. At least we got new meat on it. Try this. I don't know how something so easy can be so damn difficult. Third time's a charm. That's it right there. I think. Okay. Yep. That's it right there. Shit. Unreal. Unreal. So now I get to see what kind of movement we got. Yeah, it's better. That's way better than it was. Okay, let's hook up the elevators and see if that's right now. Then I gotta solder it together. I'll do that. I'll solder it together after dinner and glue the rib on, and we'll be done. This is the bottom. That's the top. Okay. Sure, driving me nuts. So kind of concerned about this bell crank heating it up, that Delron up that hot, kind of loosened it up there. No, I guess not. It'll be fine. So let's put the elevators on and see if we get what we got. Hook the elevators up and see what we got. That's 0. That's 0. Got to go in some more. Another turn. Another turn. About right there. Okay. Maybe a little bit. Maybe out one. No, in one more. Got to have some droop in it. In half a turn. That's it right there. Let's see here. This screwdriver right here. I think I got it. I think it's going to be okay. Gotta go up. Ah, you bitch. Okay. All right, guys, I just got the call. It's time to eat. So we will be fixing this on the Hangout. Yeah. Get in there. Ah, there it is. Nope, you bitch. Got to think you do this at the field. I need a bigger screwdriver is what I need. Bigger hammer. There it is. That makes it easier. There we go. Got more down than up. So it means I've got too much down in this. I need to lengthen it, lengthen the rod. Okay, I gotta eat. Mom says it's time. All right. I'll be back later on the Hangout. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya. Thanks for watching.